I'm not big on speaking. If you know me, I know the firefighters know that, and they can back me up on that. But I'm Joe Taylor, I'm the mayor of Rainbow City, and we did speak with Senator Jones. I don't have a problem personally with anyone that has their opinion. I don't have a problem with people that believe in their fundamentalist views. But those fundamental views have to be backed up with certain things, and those are your core values. When we met with Senator Jones, and this is not a way of slamming Senator Jones. Like I said, I always issue him his due respect. But when we met with him, he couldn't come up with a reason why we want to do away with this. Let's just do away with it. That sounds really, really good, except for the city of Rainbow City. This simple math for us. We're about $10 million a year budget, $2.4 million of that, and we'll just round it down to, we'll knock it out and say it's $2. If you take that and do that times 20 years, we know that our budget total is $200 million. That's easy, right? We know that we can go to 20 years on, times 2, and we know what our occupational tax or occupational license fee is going to be. It's very simple math, but we know when you start to remove that $40 million from that 200 is all of a sudden not very much. Now, we can then go on, and I'm not trying to get given a lesson in economics, because obviously I've been outsuited here. Thanks a lot, Ron. But the truth is that when we start talking about the economy and you start talking about knee-jerk reaction. I heard somebody say today on social media that Gadsden's making a knee-jerk reaction. It's not a knee-jerk reaction, because in the way economy works, in the way government reacts to its own economy, which is the money that you guys send to us, we have a lag time. That lag time creates a very, very touchy balance that puts us in a situation where we have to predict the future. And we do that through budgeting. And we are handed a budget. A couple of years ago, I got handed one. It was a pretty sweet budget. Doesn't look so good now if this were to pass. So let me say this. Brett mentioned something about federalism and that the USA equals federalism. That's the truth. But federalism is a derivative of constitutionalism. And I think Mac Butler, he always kills me. He always gives me a lesson on the Constitution. The one thing about the Constitution is it sets this thing up so that we don't have overreach, so that you don't stick your hand into my business. This bill sticks its hand into the business of Rainbow City, Southside, Gadsden, Glencoe, and Etowah. And when you put your hand in there and begin to remove something, I can't do anything but react in fear, because I've still got to provide services. Those services are critical. I'm not the guy that can just get up here and start preaching about being a politician my whole life, because I haven't been. I was a soldier for 17 years. I was a grass cutter, and then I was a firefighter for 25. I served this city. And this is the point, I think, that I would have to make as the mayor of another city. I'm trying to protect the city of Gadsden. Those were the people that I served, that I went out when they were hurting, when they were in the midst of chaos, when their lives were falling apart, when they were standing in the road while we put every bit of their life, we were spraying water on it. Now, if that's the kind of thing that you think you can correct by coming in and applying economic rule like the senator is doing, I hate to tell y'all, but we've gotten out of the people business and gotten into a business of numbers. They're spouting numbers. Man, they can sling those numbers around like I can't do it. I had to put mine in first grade for everybody here, but especially me. But I'm just going to tell you, when it gets down to the cutting, and I almost said it, when it gets down to the cutting, I promise you guys, you've got leadership in place. And we know that there's tension in leadership. There has to be, because we obviously are trying to move towards something. Are we in a competition with the City of Gadsden? Absolutely. I want to beat their britches off. But the truth is, there are certain things that I can't get from them. There are certain things that they can't get from me. But there's a lot of things that we all share. And the one thing that we share is a population that has decided to move in a different direction. A region that is strong, that is vibrant, and that, like David Hook said, we've never heard someone say, that's what's keeping us from coming to town. Rainbow City is growing, and we will stop growing at the point when you decide that you're going to stick your hand into our coffers. The truth is very, very simple. When we get to the end of the day, we have to provide premium services to the citizens of Rainbow City. And our citizenry requires that. We have 50% of our city goes out to work every day and they pay an occupational license fee to another city. That don't bother me. That's none of my business, honestly. But think about the mayors that are coming up here and saying we've got to hold on to this fee. We pay it. Myself and I know that Mayor Ford's doing the same thing. We're giving our salary back, in my case, back to my schools. I give it back to my schools because our children harm themselves at a higher rate in this area. We can't figure out why. Why not throw a little money at it and see if we can't get our representatives to go to Montgomery and find us some more? That was the only reason that I did it. I want my senator to go down there and help me solve that problem. I don't need him to be here minding my business. I promise you, de-elect me, unelect me, and send me on down the road if we can have one of our state representatives come in and do the job of Craig Ford and Larry Means and Dana Snyder and Chris Hare and all of the others, Scott Reeves. Just come and do our job for us. And I promise you, I've got a place to go to. It's overreach. It's just sheer overreach. And I think my 2 minutes is almost up. But anyway, I told you I can't do 2 minutes. It's overreach. It's not his job to stick his hand into the business of Rainbow City. I love to hear Mac when he uses this word, and I'm sure he's going to pop it out just to make me feel good. He always talks about the sovereignty of our state and the sovereignty of our city. Leave the sovereignty of my city alone, or fire me.